this is the plinth beam. It goes round the external wall of the building. All right. With this now, it will help to prevent the transfer of cracks, okay, from the substructure to the superstructure, because most times you see that our structures shows signs of cracks, all right, now on the superstructure. Now when you trace it down, okay, when you trace it down, you discover that it is from the substructure, all right. But when you have this plinth beam, all right, around, it will help to, regulate or a kind of curtail the effect of transfer of crack from the substructure to the superstructure. All right. Then most importantly, during the oversight, what we refer to as the German floor, all right, you see that there is a kind of BRC laid, in this floor. All right. Now the BRC was anchored on this external wall. All right. Now the anchorage now helps to, create that connection, all right, between the floor and this external wall. All right. Now whatever that happens, below, okay, in terms of the infill, because definitely there will be settlement, as time goes on. All right. And most times you see that spaces will be created below. All right. Okay, to be created below. So having this now will help to suspend the floor, the oversight floor. It will help to suspend it, for it not to cave in. All right, because most times you see that when you do your building and you just have the external wall, all right, without having a good connection, okay, as in connection I mean between the wall, the external wall and your floor, if there are no good connection, you will see that there will be some form of markings, a kind of dissociation. All right, what I mean is when you have a block wall going up, when you get to this DPC level, it is important to do your oversight. All right, because your oversight will help to make that structure monolithic. It will help to create that needed connection between the floor and the DPC wall. Okay, but if you don't do that, if you go on progressively and later you come back to do your flooring or your German floor, you will see that at the edges, there will be no connection, there will be no bonding, there will be no proper bonding. All right, so definitely if there is anything that takes place below the floor, you see that that floor, the concrete will tend to, the concrete floor will tend to respond to that space below. But when you have that connection, like this, when you have this, okay, as the oversight to this external, overlapping the top of this external wall, you see that you have a good, connection between the floor and the external of that building. All right, that will also help to create that needed rigidity, substructurally. All right, so it's important we understand that there is need to have our oversight, okay, before we can now, progress, before we can now move up, to get the superstructure. All right, because most times when we are done, with this, with the substructure, we won't know what goes on below. So we try as much as possible to do the needful, to create that connection at the top. All right, that will help to give that rigidity and stability for the substructure. All right, before we can now, progress upward. All right.